Yo, what's up everyone, BrickStreetBoy here, back with another video, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the dumbest character deaths in movies and shows. Now, before I get onto my list, I want to give a shout out to Vets Movies over on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram for doing a video similar to this. I am a fan of his work, and I did my best to avoid any of the characters he mentioned in this video. In his video, he did raise some very valid points, so go check that out. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump right into it. Now, there is no particular order for this list, but I'm going to kick it off by saying Wanda Maximoff in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Now, here's the thing. Wanda is a multiversal level threat. Her power is literally manipulating reality and killing her off in one movie. I know we did get a taste of her powers in like some of the Avengers movies, but like this was the first time we got to see her as like a true villain, and it was cool to see. But like they killed her off, and like the building collapsed on her. And we did see that red light, so she might return. We are getting a solo project, but I don't know if that will be like with like what the Black Widow one was, where it was like a prequel. That would not work for me, especially when you got a character as big as Scarlet Witch. And it would be cool to see her against Doom or Kang or whatever the plan is for the multiverse saga of the MCU and the Avengers movies. I strongly believe that Batman vs Superman was the catalyst to destroying the DCEU, and thus why we're getting a reboot. But arguably the worst part in a movie full of flaws is Superman's death. Like, come on, this was only his second appearance in the DCEU. I mean, thus, the second movie in the DCEU. And then he gets killed after atrocious character development. And in the Justice League movies, it was just brushed over like it was nothing. And the whole universe was just messy. And I strongly believe that this is the biggest reason why. She might not be dead, similar case with Wanda, but she might just be in Valhalla. But Jane Foster in Thor: Love and Thunder. This was our first exposure to Jane Foster as Thor in the MCU in Thor: Love and Thunder, and I strongly believe that this was the worst part in a movie full of flaws. Like, she was like the main focus. And then they killed her off. I mean, I know it was like for shock value to make Thor lose something, but like, this was not the way to do it. We could have seen her in the Avengers, and Thor would have stayed with the Guardians. I know that is a hot take, but I strongly believe that Thor and the Guardians would have had amazing chemistry if we had explored it more. I hate how the idea of Thor joining the Guardians of the Galaxy at the end of Endgame was abandoned within the first 15 minutes of Thor: Love and Thunder. And if they had let Jane survive, then we could have explored it more. And it's a shame that they made this really stupid decision. I know I said this was movies only, but Black Noir from The Boys, even though it's a show, is one I want to talk about. Black Noir was a fan favourite member of the Seven in both the show and among the fans. He's like a Batman type character, like a dark vigilante that has like knives and that. And then he gets killed by Homelander early on, and we don't get to see much of him. He was already underutilised prior to his death, and then they made a new Black Noir and then brushed off his death like it was nothing. Seriously. If you guys have seen any of my previous videos, and I'm going to do more on this death specifically, this is one that makes me pretty angry, and that is Jennifer's death in Jennifer's body. Like, come on. She literally has instant healing powers, she survived the knife, and yet dies after getting stabbed by Needy on the bed. Why? Like, come on. You would think, if this happened to Deadpool, and they killed off Deadpool in such a stupid way, you would be mad. Like, that's how I feel about Jennifer dying in Jennifer's body. And she was already underutilized prior. You would think a movie called Jennifer's Body would focus on Jennifer. No, it didn't. We only got a brief taste of her power and what she can do. And then they killed her off, killing all potential hopes of the sequel. I think there was supposed to be a sequel planned, but because it faced poor reception at the time of its release, it was cancelled. That makes me mad in and of itself. We should have had more screen time with her, and they just ended her story in the most atrocious way. I want redemption somehow, somewhere, or some way. I did say there was no particular order, but this one genuinely makes me mad. Cyclops' death in X-Men The Last Stand. Cyclops is the literal leader of the X-Men, and he's probably my favourite member of the X-Men, and then they already sidelined him in both X2 and X-Men 1, and then in The Last Stand, he was still underutilised. Bear in mind, this is the leader of the X-Men, and they gave him an off-screen death and brushed off like it was nothing, and he died in a stupid way in the hands of Jean Grey. Why? Like, come on, how, like, he gets killed off screen with Jean Grey misusing her powers, they brush it off like it was nothing, and he was already sidelined to a side character. It was all because James Marsden, who played Cyclops, yes, they got the James Marsden to play the leader of the X-Men, and they do him dirty like this. Wanted to work on Superman Returns the same year. They should have delayed The Last Stand, and whilst it was at it, fixed the stupid plot points. Yes, this one is like genuinely it makes me very angry, this one. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more awesome videos. Goodbye.